there was a lot of exciting things there, but most importantly, I'm proud of our guys for finishing the deal.
Talk about how valuable the special teams effort was with you mentioned the kick return, the punt block, and those are really kind of bonus plays in the game.
Well, Coach Doherty does a tremendous job with our special teams. Number one, we spend a significant amount of time meeting-wise. We spend a significant amount of time during the course of practice drilling special teams. And so it's hard because most of these young men, they all come here and all they think about is offense. All they think about is defense. They don't typically realize how significant and how much of an impact special teams make in determining the outcome of every game. So he has done a great job getting all of our players to buy in, to being a contributor on special teams. And so I'm proud of that because he, is like anybody, like the rest of us, he took it hard last week because, obviously the end of the game and getting asked the question, hey, if you had it to do over again. Well, listen, we came back out, we drilled it, we had a great week of practice. Our guys did a great job of showing discipline, staying in their lanes, and covering the kicks, covering the punts, and having a big return like that. It was big. Corey Lockenary had a couple nice returns, so it was big for our guys.
They've really contributed really early so far. What have you seen out of them that's really been so great?
I think just the stage is not too big for them. I know I said that last week when we had so many young guys play in that first game. We're on the road at Illinois, Big Ten opponent, but man, the look in their eyes on the sidelines and throughout the course of the game, man, I love the look. The look is I want the ball. I want to be in a position when the game's on the line. I want to be in a position to make a play when my team needs me. I love that look. Those guys are tough, man, and I am glad that they're on our football team. And I know that those guys love to compete, and they can't wait to get back out and let's get our preparation started here for Tennessee Tech.
Obviously, had a pretty good crowd on hand today. How important is it to be able to kind of take advantage of those opportunities when you have a lot of people here to play as well as you guys did, especially in that second half?
We got to play well to make them want to come back. Our guys know that's the challenge that they accept. I accept that. We accept it as a staff, but we want to play well. We want our fans to come back because they mean everything to us. When that place is loud and there's people in the seats, man, that you feed off of that. And I know that sounds like a cliche. Everybody says that when you have a big crowd, but man, that's awesome. When you come out there and it's a beautiful day like it was today, the weather was awesome, to have our fans there and to give them something to be excited about here at home for our first game is important because we need them back here with the same kind of environment next week against Tennessee Tech as we try to get 2 in a row.
UAB had a lot of chunk plays and ended up with 500 yards. Will that be a point of emphasis, I assume, this week now?
Well, always. They were doing a good job with tempo. They were playing with tempo. They kind of had us, a little bit off balance, trying to substitute, and they were dictating the pace a little bit there. So some of those big chunks that they had were simply us getting caught, being a little bit fatigued, tired. So we got to make sure that we're mentally tough, make sure our conditioning is where it needs to be, and we'll get that ironed out. But some of the big plays that were given up is because they were doing a good job with their tempo package.
Hey, Coach, they give 500 yards, but they forced 4 fumbles, recovered 2 of them. How much did those big defensive plays matter? Because it felt like last week it was kind of the other way around for you guys outgained the other team.
Well, anytime that you can win the turnover battle, man, you give yourselves a great advantage. Last week we lost the turnover battle. We lost the game. This week we won the turnover battle, won the game. You can read a lot about the stat sheet at the end of the game, but if you can make sure that you win that battle every week, you got a great opportunity to win that particular game. And so that's a point of emphasis. Our guys, we preach, we practice ball security, we practice getting the ball out defensively every single day. So I think our guys just, it's one of those great games where you truly can, show those guys the value of working on that every day in practice when you create turnovers like we were able to today.
And then penalties, too. You guys only had 4 for 36 yards. They had 9 for 81. And there was a drive there where you guys were stopped on 3rd down twice. Like penalties gave you guys first time to score a touchdown. And then there was that really weird sequence where they had the sack and then the couple penalties to push them back. So how much, I know last year you guys were like top 5 in the country as far as fewest penalties. So how much of an emphasis do you guys put on that?
Well, we emphasize playing the game the right way. I think that's just, the way we try to coach as a staff. Our players have bought into that. There's only one way to play the game. We don't want penalties. We don't want pre-snap penalties. We don't like to play sloppy football, and that's something I value no matter where I've been in my career as a coach, just playing the game the right way. Play fast, play physical, play it the right way. And so, we got a sideline infraction today, and our staff, we got about 5 or 6 guys that are in charge of sideline control because it's a hard job. And so there's a sudden change there. We had the big kickoff return, if I'm not mistaken, it was prior to that where we had the sideline penalty. And so we got to know that, yes, we're going to get excited, but we got to always be aware of not being in the official's way when he's trying to get up and down the field. And so we got to learn from that because they're calling that very strict, and that was a great lesson for us today.
Coach, for true freshmen to get onto the big squad and make a team like Curtis Blackwell, and he gets in late action after the turnover.
Curtis is going to continue to play a lot for us this year. I have always said since I've talked about offensive and defensive linemen coming from high school to college, that is the toughest transition for any position. When you go from playing in the trenches in high school and you're an offensive lineman like Curtis, he's probably clearly the biggest guy on the field on any given Friday night when they play. And now that you come into a college level, all the other guys on the offensive line are your size. The defensive line are about 2 inches shorter, but they're all big too. That's the toughest transition to transition to the speed of the game and the size of the guys you're going against, and to do that in 3 weeks, which is what he did in training camp. That's unbelievable because it's hard to believe that a young man can do that going from high school to college. But, it speaks to Curtis's football intelligence. He's done a great job of picking up the techniques that Coach DeVan teaches, and we're going to see a lot of football here from Curtis as the season goes on. And he's a phenomenal young man,
It seemed like it was tough for James Gilbert to get going today. Are you seeing something defensively that maybe teams are keen on him a little bit more this year?
Well, we saw a ton of man coverage today on offense. They were challenging us, loading the box, saying, I'm going to get an extra defender here in the box. And so they were challenging us, trying to force us to beat them on the outside. And so we got to make sure that we're prepared for that, knowing that could be the case here going forward. When you have a back like James Gilbert commanding that much attention, they're going to allocate extra defenders to the box to try to slow him down and force you. If you can take him away, then at least know their best player, and one of their best players is not beating you each and every week. So, Caleb Huntley did a great job, though. Malik Dunner did a great job. So we're, got to play several running back by committee, and we got to continue to mix it up. And, that's the hard part about the beginning of the season. When you don't have a ton of film of your opponent, you got to try to focus on what you do well. But as you get more tape, when the season unfolds, it helps with preparation, being more specific with your game plans, and being able to tweak things here and there to give your guys the best chance.
Riley Miller was the go-to guy last week in the passing game today with Justin Hall. Let's talk about that receiver group and the different kind of weapons you have.
Yeah, it's one of those. We don't have just a go-to guy. That's not the kind of offense that we run. All the guys know that, man, my number could be called at any given time. Justin Hall, ended up having the hot hand today, made some big plays. It was Riley Miller's last week. But, all of our guys, you try to give them several opportunities through the course of the game to win, to get their number called. And some days, one guy's just a little bit hotter than the other, if you will. One guy's a little bit better on his releases than the other guy. But, I think, for us as we go forward, we'll continue. We get a lot of playmakers, and we'll try to get those guys the ball the best way we can.
Coach Martin has shown his inconsistency, taking his record and then missing one. He's still your go-to guy going forward?
Yeah, I talked to him after the game and just told him he's got to get his confidence back. When you're a kicker, it's you're kind of on an island by yourself. You're out there, all the attention's on you, but when you miss one, everybody knows. When you make one and it's routine, they kind of know, but that's a lonely island sometimes. And so I told him to keep his head up, got to get his confidence back. He went through a little minor injury in camp, and so ever since then he's kind of, his psyche has been a little bit different that way. We just got to get him to get his confidence back. He's a talented kicker, and it's one of those that we just got to continue to tell him that he didn't have to do anything special. He just got to go do his routine, do him, and just try to get his confidence back here.
One more question.
Jacob White wasn't in uniform there in the second half. What happened once he said?
Yeah, he got an injury that kept him out here in the second half, and so we'll know more here, hopefully tomorrow or no later than Monday. But it was a hand injury, and he wasn't able to return there in the second half. Okay.
in here in just a second.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.